Hello, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm JJ, otherwise known as the Practical Alchemist, and I am delighted that you have found me. If this is your first time with me, due to the wonderful vagaries of the YouTube algorithm, welcome. It's good to see you. And if you're returning, even, that's fantastic. It's lovely to see you again. Now, today, I would like to talk about nature, the natural world, or is it? I've just been thinking about this. At the top of my radio show on UK Health Radio, I talk about living in line with nature in a way that's true to our nature. And I guess what I mean by that is that we live as naturally, whatever natural is, in our current state of being as possible. But of course, nature isn't wonderful in many ways. It was Alfred Lord Tennyson who coined the phrase nature red in tooth and claw. And kind of what he was getting at there was that everything living, everything surviving life survives by something else not surviving. So if you think about it, in nature, you've got animals preying on animals, you have plants preying on other plants, you have plants preying on animals, as in insectivorous plants. In nature, everything lives and survives through something else not living or surviving. And I guess we're no different in that sense. However, we are in this place of moving through a time on our planet where things are changing a great deal. And also, I'm led to think about, who are we really? So I guess when I talk about living in line with nature in a way that's true to our nature, what I mean is this biological being entity that we are. It is part of nature. It is part of the biological natural world. And so therefore, we look to the biological natural world to sustain us. But then think about what eating another entity gives us. What is it actually that we get from eating another entity? We get energy. We get sustenance, we get vitamins that we might be lacking. And where does that come from? Where does that other entity get it from? If we eat meat, we're probably eating something that eats grass or hay, or in any way is vegetarian. Where does that plant get its sustenance from? It gets it from the sun. Everything on this earth relies on the sun, ultimately, for its life force, for its renewing energy. And you have to ask yourself why that is. And I think then of how there are many gurus, adepts who claim, and I have no reason to disbelieve them, that you don't actually need to eat. And then I think, wouldn't it be interesting? Or maybe this is what's actually going on right now, if we're living in a matrix and we believe that we are a spiritual being or an energetic being in a biological body experiencing this existence. What if this whole thing about needing to live in this natural world is just a construct? What if we don't need to rely on nature, the natural world, for our sustenance? What if all we need to rely on is the energy from the sun and our own innate power? And I've thought for many, many years, that we certainly don't need to eat, consume as much as we do. And maybe you don't even need to eat if we're in the right state to exist that way. And let's face it, not many of us are. And I get the whole thing about veganism. I get the whole thing about vegetarianism. People have, really don't want to eat sentient animals. However, I actually also believe that plants are sentient. So where do you draw that line? And that's why I just allow people to eat what they feel they need to eat, or allow. It's not down to me to say whether they can or can't. But I don't get too wound up about people eating what they feel they need to eat in order to sustain their life. But it's interesting, isn't it? So what if our real nature is not the nature of this biological casing, this biological body that we are in, living in, that is part of the natural world? What if the whole thing about the survival of the fittest is just a construct? What if all of that is designed to keep all of us in fear? What if all we really need is the sun's energies? Ancient civilizations worshipped the sun because they saw it, they knew it as the source of all life. It is. And what if we could have that direct connection with the sun? I'm not saying that I do it or can do it or that everybody, but what if that were a possibility? What if we all kind of started to plug ourselves in differently to this existence and could live peacefully, could coexist peacefully with what is around us without consuming anything other than pure energy? It's a thought, that, isn't it? Is our nature our biology? I guess is the question. And I don't think it is. I think our nature is something more than, other than our biology. I just think that we're caught up in a web whereby we conflate the two. And it's very difficult to get out of that. We've had many generations of living that way. And I don't know the answer. I know that things are changing. I know that there is more to us than we see and are told. I know that we have immense power, and that probably comes from sources like the sun and maybe the earth and its energy as well. And maybe sometime down the line, we'll have learned how to manage this existence without killing anything, plant, animal, or fungus, or any kind of living being for our own sustenance. Maybe at that point, we'll just leave this dimension altogether. Maybe that's what ascension is. I'd love to hear what you think about that. It's something that's been playing on my mind all day today. Well, not just all day today, but it's something that I think about quite often. And as I say, I don't know the answers. I'm not sure of any of it, but I pose the question, what if? How would that be, do you think? And is that what we're all striving to be when we talk about ascension? Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear. Do leave a comment. And if you like this kind of content and you want to see more of it, please subscribe to this channel and like this video and share it. And I'll see you in the next one.